Is on.
Looking forward to learning from you. Over to you.
Thank you, Salman, and I realize how much I'm liable to learn from this meeting. I should say first that I'm a total amateur at audiovisual production, and here I am in the company of someone making a documentary film about a favorite historical hero of mine, Ellsberg. You can see that I'm old enough to appreciate who he was. And I wonder, Vahid, whether Paul J is involved in your documentary as well. Perhaps we can discuss that later in the meeting. And Tom Hall, hello. First credit to Tech for Palestine, of which Tom Hall is a member, of course, as you know. And I'll describe what I got involved in and why. I'll say first that I've been involved, or rather I've been aware of Palestinian politics since the age of 10. And when you look at my image, you'll guess that that was in the early 60s. I became aware of it because my parents were a member of a Unitarian congregation that was kind of a refuge for Jews arriving from Europe and wondering whether they were Orthodox Jews or not. And they joined that congregation along with us. My parents joined for similar reasons. I became more involved in it when I married into a Jewish family and began to look at the conflict from their point of view as Hungarian refugees, but didn't really become active until about 15 years ago, when it was clear to me that I had time, I had some resources, and I should get directly involved. I'm not sure I made the best choice. I became involved with the Flotilla Coalition, which of course is in the news again. And we can talk about sea stories, as I like to say, if you wish, but I have realized that effort is in danger of becoming publicity about making a sea voyage and being brave folks and facing difficulties and going to jail and then being kicked out of jail and sent home. That is, it's not more directly about Palestinians. And so I began working on a project with the idea that I could, first the idea that I could help trace the weapon shipments to Israel. I found that that was already being done very well. And realized at that moment that I should tell that story backwards, that I should take the well-known murders in Gaza, that is the murders of people that made it into the news, among the thousands, tens of thousands who do not, and I should tell their story backwards, that I should start with them and the weapons that were used to murder them and trace the supply chain of those weapons back to the sources. And so I began that project like a former software developer would. I went straight to my code editor and began thinking about a database integration and permissions and website and all that stuff. And Paul Bigar, along with Tom Hall, pointed out to me in a few meetings that I had with Tech for Palestine that really I had to do what I should have known as a former software manager first, and that is go looking for customers. So at the moment, I'm in the position where I have what I call demonstration software. It's all hardwired. It is an audio-video presentation, and now I'm a little anxious about being among experts here because it's my first effort in a technology that I'm not accustomed to. And I'm trying to use it to find people, in this case, particularly in Michigan, where a lot of weapons are produced that are sent to Israel. And I'm hoping to find political activists who are, I'll say, in the middle, who are perhaps not yet active, but who are empathetic and are looking for some way to involve themselves. And the most obvious, and I think still the most effective way, is to involve themselves in the midterm elections and the inevitable protests and upsets that I'm sure will happen. I certainly hope will happen. So if anybody lives in Michigan or has family in Michigan or friends in Michigan, I'd sure like to hear about that because I'd like them to see the work that I've done so far. I'll point out that the video is on YouTube now. It's fairly easily searchable, and I'll leave a link in the chat, of course. It is a draft. Even as an amateur, I'm not happy with all of the quality of it. I have some editorial ideas about it that I'm going to change before I release it and try to advertise it more widely. So that's me. And in the way of an introduction, that's about all I can say. I'm happy to talk in detail about how I came to this conclusion and my involvement in various pro-Palestinian activities where I live, which is the west coast of Canada. But I'm also here to learn from you folks, who I assume are largely technically oriented people, software people, and Vahid, there's the documentary maker. So I'm anxious
Um,
to get your impression of what I do, and I hope I do that after the meeting.
I hope so too. I would love to check it out. I tried to look at the link prior to the meeting, but it said that it wasn't available. Um, just want to let you know there's a site that I have been building for the past since September of 2023, I think, documenting war crimes, crimes in Gaza, in Iran, in the U.S. and elsewhere, police brutality, genocide. It's called parentsplea.com. It has over 100,000 names right now from Gaza and U.S., from the health ministry. But I hired an employee that their sole job is to go and dig up stories. So Parents Plea, we dig up the stories from Middle East Monitor, Al Jazeera, BBC on the death of civilians in Gaza. We don't have anybody from the military in it, with their age, names, as well as their biographies and news articles that we can find and associate with them. It's basically a living testament of the people that have lost lives in these conflicts. And I didn't even include Iranian protests because 3 years ago, Masih Ahmadinejad was killed. Um, so we include those names too. There's about 1,000 names, but it's predominantly focused on Gaza right now. And you can look at it. It has data from 2021, some from 2014 in Gaza, and some from most recent. But it's manually collecting information and biographies and pleas of surviving family members for this site, Parents Plea. And I don't plan to monetize it or look for investors. It's not something that I hope to make a return on an investment in this world from. So, um, we use Tech for Palestine's data. Initially, when we set it up, we imported in 35,000 names. We did it again recently with about 64,000 names. But the idea is that we have stories as opposed to just names and age, so it's more personal.
Thank you. I'll look at that, and I'm immediately sympathetic with your notion of storytelling. Um, I might add that I had a short career very early on as a feature writer, so um, I migrated very quickly to the problem of getting the story across, and I appreciate what you said just now.
Wonderful. Thank you, John. Yeah, we're always looking for support. We always could use more people to dig up these stories. I have one person that's based in Palestine, but everybody else is across the world. So we could use more Arabic speaking people.
Mhm.
All right. And John, this is definitely a mixed crowd, definitely not a technical crowd, like technical from a video making perspective or technical from a software perspective. We have all sorts of individuals here. So just adding that clarification, we connected through Tech for Palestine, which is awesome. But this is definitely a mixed crowd here. Ted and Lydia have a question. Ted first, please.
Hi, John. In your introduction, I heard you say that someone is already telling the weapons shipment story. Could you explain that? And then I might have a follow-up depending on your explanation.
Sure. So I got in touch through a series of coincidental events with people who were interested in stopping the weapons shipments from the U.S. primarily to Israel. One of them is a well-known fellow called Shir Hivar, who appears on Electronic Intifada from time to time. He is head of the BDS movement in Europe. He's an Israeli and English and German speaker. He had, unbeknownst to me, he had set up a fairly effective group of people who, is it a year ago now or 2 years ago? I can't remember. Had stopped shipments via Spain. They'd had this early success. They were doing a pretty good job of it, and my hope was to get a narrower focus on that and actually trace weapons from particular places of manufacture in the States, on the railways, in the trucks, and then to stop them before they got on the boats. I think that was a little ambitious on my part, but I found that there are people who are interested in doing that, and they have at least succeeded in identifying weapons shipments, in this case from New Jersey and from Galveston, Texas, to Israel. So does that raise another question? I hope it does.
Yes. I'll reveal, it's not a secret, I'm retired military, 1984 graduate of the United States Air Force Academy, and 20 years in the military, retired with honor as a major. My specialty was acquisition, and I did that for 3 decades, both in the military and for short stints as a defense contractor when I thought I could contribute. 2 of the decades, I specialized in foreign military sales. So I tell people I did the armaments transfers while it was still legal and always under the law. And that's why with horror, I totally separated from the military industrial complex, I say 14, 15 years ago, because I just saw it going on a downward slope. And now it's in free fall. Based on my lifetime experience and without any specific knowledge or insight, my understanding has always been that 90% of munitions are shipped via the ocean. Shipping via air is very expensive, but can be very expeditious. Further, I understand that Military Ocean Terminal Sunny Point in North Carolina, just south of Wilmington,
Yep.
where I'm a resident and am active, is a primary shipment point for munitions. You mentioned Galveston, Texas, and New Jersey. I'd have to further research those for my own education.
Sure.
And my understanding is my research into the topic would be, where are the weapons being shipped from on the west coast of the United States into the Mediterranean, into Israel? And that would be a choke point.
Right.
And I can pause there. If Salman wants to, or is able to allow me to screen share, I can further explain to you and others that are in the call that I'm actually running for Congress in North Carolina. I'm on LinkedIn. I have a LinkedIn group that's been growing by 1,000 people a month for 6 months ago. So now we have 6,000 followers. And at a certain point, about 2 or 3 months ago, I felt that the time was right to announce a run for Congress, U.S. Congress. Not necessarily that I have a lot of followers in the United States or that I would ever be elected to Congress, but to put Congress on notice that we can see what they're doing. we can see their complicity or responsibility for violations of Title 10 U.S. Code Section 2441 War Crimes, Title 10 Section 1091 Genocide, Title 18, Section 918, Section 918, I think it's Article 118, murder. Now, why do I call that one out? Because in my research into what is a parallel to what's going on in Gaza, at least in the minds of Americans, is the My Lai massacre.
Yep.
A village. How was Lieutenant Cawley, the officer that was in charge and conducted that mallet, how was he prosecuted? Under UCMJ Article 118, premeditated murder. Okay. And I believe that some of the points of pressure that can be applied are towards the choke points where the weapons are transferred. And as I said, I have some visuals I can share that are part of my congressional campaign. And also this awareness that of Congress's responsibility. The only way funding gets transferred, this is taxpayer funding, or weapons get transferred, is with the authority and the approval of the U.S. Congress. I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Ted. You are welcome to share. Like, I don't need to give you permission on this platform. You can freely share. So you're welcome to share whatever you would like to share. And Ted will be our guest speaker next week, where he'll be talking about his Congress run and strategy next week. And it would also be good for both of you to connect privately as well. And now that we're talking about some specific things, we will have to think about whether we publish this recording or not. But I'll let John decide.
Sure.
Well, I don't have any reservations for the recording, and because it's all public knowledge. It's all on the LinkedIn Worldwide Humanitarian Solidarity website. I'm seeing that the link here on Brave Talk or the sharing is the sharing of a link, and that might take me a second or two to get it to a link. I have it as a file and so forth and so on. It's essentially what I sent to you, Salman, a few hours ago as an attachment to my email. And I don't want to drag this meeting, John's presentation, into something else. So I'll leave it here. And I've verbalized essentially what I wanted to share with you, John, and with the group. Thank you.
Thank you, Ted.
Yeah.
John, would you like to respond before we take the next question?
Yes, I will, if I may. Ted, thank you so much. I have a tremendous admiration for people who go through a process of changing their minds about what they do. As I mentioned, I started at the age of 10, so I never changed my mind about this. And so I admire what you've done. I did spend the months of January, February, and March of this year tracing railway lines, looking for sources of video of shipments, talking to truck drivers. I found that was taking me away from what I know how to do best. So it's really good for me to encounter you this way. And thank you, Salman, for making this happen. I will leave my contact information, or perhaps Salman can put us together after the meeting. I'm very interested in what you do, and of course I'll be at the meeting where you'll be speaking next week.
Thank you. Lydia has a question. Lydia, please.
Yes, hi everyone. Hi John, thank you so much for presenting. Let's see, I'm trying to turn my camera on.
Okay. There we are.
Oh, good to see you after a while.
Yes, so good to see you.
It was you.
Yes.
Other Lydia. Okay.
No
Lydia has
problem.
also been a past guest speaker. I'm going to share her website, but please go ahead.
Oh,
Sorry.
thank you. Thank you. Yes, I'll be back regularly now, Salman, that the org is up and running. So glad to be back. And thank you for all your work in organizing these amazing talks. John, I had a question. I might be a little vague because it deals with a lawsuit, but I'll be sure to reach out through your personal contact info. A
Sure.
more detailed conversation works. But through an organization I've started called the Internationalist Law Center, we file lawsuits that target politicians, corporations, and universities in the U.S. South that invest public funds in human rights violations, primarily in Palestine, but we also do some work in Brazil. And so what we do is essentially like torts claims. And, we're doing one on Israel bonds, like taxpayer dollars were invested in Israel bonds, which then buy weapons. So part of me is just wondering, like, I guess the question is, can I talk to you more later? Because I'd love to see how you trace the weapons, since Israel bonds are essentially a slush fund, and it's like hard to see what the money buys. And I'm wondering if there's any way that somehow, like, knowing where the weapon is manufactured can somehow open up some answers onto like what the bond money is buying. I wouldn't know how, but it's just a question that I have. And another question is like your thoughts on how your research may help with lawsuits that are trying to hold specific companies accountable for war crimes. Like, do you think that the information you're doing helps establish liability? For example, I've been seeing a lot of pictures on my, Instagram recently about it'll be Palestinians posting like pictures of a missile that are hitting an apartment, and they ask, "Do you know who made this?" And so it's like we're actually having the pictures, the very detailed pictures of the missiles hitting buildings at this point. So if we could trace it backwards, we could even find like if this was the exact missile, who manufactured it, and then who can we sue in the court of law for liability. There was a case years ago in Pennsylvania where they somehow found that some grenade that was used in Israel was manufactured by this company in Pennsylvania, and the court found them guilty for tort liability. And so I'm wondering if we can bring more of these lawsuits, especially I saw in Salman's email with the summary of this description that you may be interested in the area of Boca Raton as well. So that's where our lawsuit is, in Palm Beach County. And so we're organizing a lot of community members there. And we are also like explicitly organizing around like unions and low income workers. So there might also be another angle of like stopping
Right.
disruption in that way. So that was a very long second question, but wondering if you think your work like aids those processes or not.
I would be honored to think that or be told that it could. And I'll say here something that surprised me about tracing weapons. Um, as I mentioned earlier, the great difficulty I'm having is the one that other people are having as well, I gather, which is identifying what quadcopter, which of the various ones they use, what grenade, what 120 millimeter mortar shell, etc. And it's true that once you get that, then I thought, well, it'll be very difficult to find out who made this thing and who owns it and who funds it, etc. It turns out to be really, really easy. And the reason is that the weapons manufacturers, of course, brag about what they do. And welcome to the internet. I can go to, to pick a really obvious example, I can go to Elbit Systems Internet, their American operation, their international operation. I know their boards of directors because they just tell me. I know how much money they put into this and that. I know exactly what weapons they build because they make videos on YouTube about how good these weapons are. There they are. That part is really, really, really easy. So I think that uh, gathering that material into a bundle that a lawyer can use is actually pretty straightforward. One aspect of that I should mention just before I get to the other point is that it's also easy to find out who finances them, because Bloomberg and other financial reporters will tell you that, uh, X% of this stock is owned by this investment firm, and here's where they live, and they're British, or they're um, who knows what. It's all there. That part is really easy. Putting it together to the quality and precision that a lawyer will need, I'm not sure that I'm capable of that, but I know that other people can be. And so you and I are going to talk for sure. Again, the only other difficulty I have is finding people. And in this case, I'm fixated on Michigan because Grand Rapids and Sterling Heights are big weapon centers. I really want to find people who are going to say, I'm not voting for that person. APAC has bought them. I'm going to vote for somebody else. And that's what I'm working on now. Did that answered your first question? Did I answer your second question?
You did. Those answered both of them. It's really helpful just to know the general process, and would love to dig deeper with you later. And
Yeah.
we also have some Michigan Connect, so I'll put out the call for you.
Lydia, we are going to be talking. Thank you.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. Thank you. And thank you for your work.
Thank you.
So Tom also shared links for Mask Off Maersk and
Yes.
EU policy. So those may be of interest to all of you as well. They have already done a lot of work to trace the weapons to specific people, organizations, etc. I don't know the details. Until then, we'll, unless Tom would like to share more, until then, we'll take another question from Ted, please.
I will just quickly say that they gave a presentation. The PYM gave a presentation at the People's Conference for Palestine that I was at a couple of weeks ago in Detroit. And so if you go to the Breakthrough News YouTube and search for arms embargo, you can find a video of their presentation. They went into a lot of detail about what they learned.
Yeah.
Tom, if you could kindly find me that video, that would be awesome. I just searched arms embargo PYM, and I'm getting ambiguous answers.
Okay, awesome. Sure.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will add the link to the notes and share here as well. And Ted, please.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know how to say it other than how I put it in the comments. There's never just one cockroach. And what I see happening in Gaza, unfortunately, happened last decade in Yemen.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching, I was attentive, I was a canary in the coal mine, and I produced a 2-minute video entitled, Who is War Criminal Donald? And I put it into the comments. And in that video are ample reports from multiple organizations with the kind of information that we're looking for now about Gaza. Who are these weapon manufacturers? What identification do we have from fragments of the bombs? It was done last decade and reported on by many, many responsible, conscientious, compassionate organizations. And things don't change, overnight. It takes decades for the technology to advance. So you'll find a lot of parallels between what happened last decade in Yemen and what's happening this decade in Gaza. And I'm sure we all can understand that if this isn't stopped, it'll just happen again and again and again. And so I've included the link to that video in the comments, as well as the description that I have under that video into the comments. And I only do that not to self-promote, but to help those who are concerned and who are looking into these matters. I'll end there.
Thank you, Ted. And I'm gonna include Ted's links in the notes as well. So thank you for that. John, I feel like I interrupted you earlier in something you were trying to say.
Yeah, I might have been reacting to the note about Maskoff Maersk, and they're the outfit that I referred to as the success in Spain in persuading dock workers and other people to block shipments of weapons. In this case, from Hoboken, New Jersey, to the port in Spain. I'm forgetting the name at the moment, but where they are unloaded and then reloaded on another ship. And this is kind of an interesting detail about shipping, a little closer to some of my experience. Um, Maersk particularly runs a kind of giant ferry boat service between North America and Spain, where they will take cargo boxes off a large boat and stick them on the dock for a week or two, where they're picked up by smaller cargo vessels and taken to Israel for offloading in Haifa. That means that they are fortunately vulnerable to political protest in those ports, and that's what the Maskoff Maersk people exploited to great success. They also managed to get the Spanish government some months ago to stop, well, I guess it was the Italian government first, and then the Spanish government to stop illegal shipments that were actually illegal under Spanish and Italian law or EU law. And then more recently, of course, I think we all know that Spain canceled a large shipment of rocket launchers to Israel. And these are all very, very, very small steps, but they're all steps in the right direction.
That's amazing. Rabia, if you could share the link to that mini series that you just mentioned, that would be amazing. Vahid,
Yes, I will. I'm going
thank
to
you.
look for it now. Yeah.
Thank you. Vahid has a question.
Yeah, just more of a comment. Wanted to invite everybody to consider attending September 21st at 6 p.m. Pacific. I'll be reviewing the documentary Forever Peace Now. And also, I will review the website Parents Plea. My editor, who's from South America, will be on it as well. It's only going to last about half hour, 45 minutes. So if you have the time, please join us. I put the link in the chat.
Thank you. And as Wahid mentioned, he's been doing very important work documenting the names and other details of everybody that has been murdered. Not everybody, but to the greatest extent possible, that has been murdered in this genocide and in war crimes in other places around the world as well. So that's one of his goals with Parents Plea. So thank you for sharing that. All right, Camille has a question. Camille, please. Okay. I'm not sure if, okay. Camille said, did you find customers in the chat? Maybe she was not able to get off mute.
Yeah. So the answer is yes, I found you folks. That's a great first step. I have not yet made contact in Michigan with what I would have thought were the obvious sources. So, for example, Rashida Tlaib's office is in Detroit, Michigan. I contacted them through their web form, not having any phone numbers or direct email addresses, and said, look, this is what I'm doing. Do you know people in Michigan, Sterling Heights, just north of where you are, who would be interested? I haven't received responses to those kinds of, kind of cold calling sales ventures I've made. I think it's because they wonder who I am, naturally. People are, in the States particularly, people are nervous for good reason. And they're incredibly busy on their own projects in more or less the same direction. So I've been a little disappointed at my cold calling results. If I had a sales manager, he'd be hounding me. Uh, and I'll continue looking. I mean, the only solution to that problem is persistence.
So in the past, we have had CARE, ADC, and a few other organizations present. So if we decide to put up this recording, I'll share the recording with them, and then if you send me a quick email uh, about what your ask is for them, I'll forward your email to them, and hopefully they can respond to you. And also, I'm sure some of those people are connected to Rashida Tlaib's office, and so maybe we can try to get a response from there as well.
Thank you.
Um,
You may also know that there is an Arabic-speaking candidate for Senate in Michigan. His
oh,
name
no, I
escapes me.
didn't know that.
Sorry?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, I wish I could remember his name. But he does have a campaign. He's one of 3 announced senatorial candidates in Michigan.
Cool.
I think it's Abdul Sayed.
Yes, thank you. It is Abdul Sayed.
Cool.
I have tried to contact his office. I
Mhm.
think he must be running the operation on 0 money and perhaps on his cell phone. So I haven't been able to speak to anybody in his group yet, but I hope to.
Okay.
By the way, John, I live in Michigan. I'm not volunteering to help because I'm too busy, but also the mayor of Dearborn, Michigan, is also Arabic, and
Of course, yes. Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, I do understand why you're so busy, Tom. Thank you.
All right. Deepak. Deepak has a question. Deepak's joining us all the way from India. It must be like 10, 11 a.m. there.
Yeah, I'm from India. Am I audible in the Salman?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's night in India around 11 o'clock. And first of all, thanks for this invite. Recently, I joined the Signal group, and I think I just wanted to say one thing. Uh, this is a very important topic, which many people should know. Right now, I think only we are 15, 20 people, and this is very, very, very important topic, which I want everybody should know. What I wanted to offer here, I'm very good in narrative building, countering the harmful narratives, fascism, racism, extremism, and this is the weaponization is a form of what we are seeing, extremism and fascism. So I can help building the narratives, spreading the word. Like here we are talking about the individuals. One webinar I attended yesterday, day before yesterday, there we were talking about companies who are complicit in the genocide. You know, so people are unaware, and although it's directly daily they are using those apps. So that is one thing I wanted to offer, and I'm already connected with Salman and Ted on LinkedIn, although we don't talk because we have everybody has lots of connections, but I'm already connected with them. Recently I have connected with Wahid also recently. So whatever help I can contribute through narrative building, spreading this moment to the whole world through reposting, so I wanted to offer that. That's what only I wanted to say, and it's a great learning here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Deepak. Yeah, like that's such an important point. Like uh, getting the message out there the right way to encourage people to take action, right? Like, John and other friends here, we're trying to get politicians to take action, trying to get the people in the middle to take action. Nobody wants weapons made in their backyard, blowing up neighborhoods and killing children in other parts of the world. Nobody wants that, right? And the average American, regardless of their political affiliation, would be just morally against that. And so um, so the workaround, the language, the narrative is super important. So thank you for that, Deepak. So on that note, John, like how would you prefer people connect with you? email or some other method, whatever you're comfortable with sharing with the mailing list of
Sure.
our 300 people. Let us know whatever your preferred method is.
I have a Proton account, which I'm typing into the chat right now. God help me if I can't see it, and I can't. There we are. Yeah, so I'm tinkerjat at Proton Mail. Salman, you have that address, of course.
Yeah.
And I would like to get a reaction to this draft of my first video. I like to think of it as my first video, which is on YouTube. I put the link at the very top of the chat, I believe. I'll do it again if that's useful. I'd like you to spend 15 minutes watching it and tell me what you think is wrong with it. There are several things I know are wrong with it, and I'll be changing those and reposting over the next week. I had the good fortune of talking to a documentary television producer, retired, who looked at it for me and gave me some notes, which were very useful. So I'll be doing some renovating on the edit today and through the coming days. I hope this is the first. There are at least, just to my knowledge, at least 24, perhaps 36 stories of people of murders of people that were reported in the news where weapons are identifiable. And so I'll be grabbing the next one, which may actually lead back to Canada, to Repentigny, Quebec, where General Dynamics manufactures bullets and other stuff, which is being shipped by Canada through the States to Israel, even though our current government denies that. I hope to do that story next, and there are several others which I think can be attacked. I'd also like to attract people who are writers and who are proper, well-trained, well-experienced video and audio people, because I'm not, to this project if I can. And of course, that will be done through Tech for Palestine with the help of people like Tom and Paul Bigar.
Sounds good. So just to confirm, you would like us to watch the video now and provide you feedback. Would you want us to provide you feedback in the chat here while we're watching on mute, maybe?
Sure, if that's convenient. It is 15 minutes long.
Okay.
And you know, as I've learned to say, like and subscribe, apparently. Even though
Now
this is
you're a
just
millennial.
yeah. Yeah. Well, when I was first involved in doing video, you could see it. There was brown tape on a recording machine, and that was lots of fun. But like my profession, which was initially print publishing, that has all changed in such amazing ways, and I think we're lucky it has in some ways.
Yes. So I will post the link to the recording again. Let me just bring it up once more. Okay. All right. So if anybody wishes to watch the video later and provide feedback to John via email, you have the option of doing that too. But I will follow John's direction and watch the video now. I'll go on mute, and then that'll probably be the end of the meeting because we'll go past the hour then. But I'll stick around until the end of the video.
And I'll stay in case there are questions and comments, of course.
All right. So we'll start now and we'll reconvene in 15 minutes. Thank you. For whoever wishes to stay, no pressure, as always. Thank you. All right. So I already provided my feedback in the chat. If anybody would like to provide feedback via email, you are welcome to do so. John has shared his email address. I'll share it in the notes as well and paste it in here one more time. Would anybody like to provide feedback now while we're still on the call and add some final thoughts? Thank you, Camille. Camille said she loved it. Rabia, please.
Thank you.
You have a lot of work has gone into kind of research, which is really good, and all the links and the networks, and it's kind of like a worldwide mafia, isn't it? And that kind of sort of like becomes very clear in the video. Just to, in order to kind of sort of just kind of like an opinion really, to get more engagement, I would say kind of the audio can be much better. I would, where did you edit it yourself?
Oh, yes.
Yes, okay, yeah. So you can also kind of, you know, the edit can be more dynamic. it's just kind of really, there's so much you can do to kind of sort of like, you know, capture the attention, grab the attention, because you have all the information there. It's just about how you use the visuals and the audio.
Yeah, thank you. There's a bit of feedback in my mic, and I'm not sure why. Rashid, thank you. I understand your comments and appreciate them.
All right. I thought I saw somebody's hand up, but it's not up anymore. Okay.
Sorry, Salman, what do you mean by your comment? Made me think?
Yeah, so you know how like you mentioned like so when you were talking about your comment, it made me think of like how they in like detective movies they show like a board where they show all these people connected to each other with red strings,
Yeah,
uh, some
yeah.
some some
You
sort
can
of
use special effects.
visualization. Uh-huh.
Yeah, you can use special effects. So, John,
Yeah.
so I have a production company. I've been in the film industry for the last 30 years. So I'm coming from that angle. And I'm happy to kind of like speak to you about how you can kind of make it stronger, if you like, on a separate call.
Yeah, absolutely. Please do. Via email if you would, and we'll get on the phone.
Yeah, okay. I
Thank
will
you.
do. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy. So many connections here. Thank you, Rabia. Like, connections from law perspective and with connection with Ted and his hands-on experience, and then Tom created a bunch of other connections. So awesome.
Yeah, a great group of really valuable people.
Yeah. All right. So I will. I still want to just take a pause and think about whether we share the recording or not. And so, if anybody has any concerns, let me know. I want to make sure that I, you know, let's say hypothetically, someone in the call said, I want to go blow up a weapons manufacturer facility, right? That would be a very good thing to happen, but it would also be very illegal, and we wouldn't want a person in our community to be incriminated like that in our recording, hypothetically, right? So we didn't say anything like that. We only talked about stuff that is public knowledge, and we're not talking about doing anything illegal. And so, but I want to, yeah, just make sure we are careful with that. Most of the time, yeah. So better safe than sorry in these type of situations. Yeah. John, and just in case, if you would like, there were some more comments. If you want to copy and paste and save them, because they will disappear after the meeting ends. Would you like to add any final thoughts before we part ways?
Just to say thanks for the reminder to cut and paste the comments. I always lose comments on video calls. Somebody has to design a way to save those comments. And I know there are people here who could do it. Um, I want to say thank you. This has been really, really valuable for me. Making these connections that you listed, you've got a talented group of people here, and I really appreciate what you're doing, and what all of your audience is also doing. And it's a great thing to be part of it.
Yeah, it's my it's our honor. It's like getting connected to each other. Who are all these people who are trying to make a difference and are making a difference. It's awesome, and I'm looking forward to sending the recording and/or the notes to the rest of the members, and hopefully that will generate more. And then when you get the chance, please do send me that email so that I can forward it to some more people, ADC, CARE, and a couple other groups that you want to target. And so we'll go from there. Thank you so much for being here, John, and everyone else. Looking forward to our next call with Ted. And so Ted will be speaking next week, talking about his campaign to, to put Congress on notice, and maybe I'm hoping that that can inspire more of our American friends, and actually any other friends worldwide too. We had another. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Like it doesn't just need to happen in America. It needs to happen everywhere. We need better people to lead, and in the absence of better people, we get shitty people leading us instead. So, Ted, would you like to maybe close off with some final thoughts?
I'm just going to share what I'm doing and open up the possibility, the concept for others to do the same.
That
And
sounds
so
awesome.
far, we have named it instead of protesting Congress, you can run for Congress.
Yeah, exactly.
And we'll see what kind of how that resonates.
Yeah.
In this moment and in the moments to come.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you so
Always a
much.
pleasure seeing all of you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.